good evening. It's very nice to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is indeed. And in a packed programme tonight, we talk to a man who's crossed a Rhode Island Red with a waitress and got a chicken that lays tables.
And we'll discuss the latest business merger. Mothercare have joined British Leyland to produce a car with a built-in rattle.
Then we'll discuss the bread shortage with a woman who's been throwing IOUs to the ducks.
But first, the news. National health doctors staged a protest march down Harley Street today, waving big placards which they had written out themselves. Unfortunately, it was a failure as no one could read them. Except one chemist who happened to be passing. He told them to come back in 10 minutes.
The health service state today that they're getting so behindhand that for the pregnancy testing service, there is now a 10-month waiting list.
And a lady family planning officer who had triplets this week has been sacked for failing to report an accident.
Which brings us to sport. From Japan, we hear that Mr. Watanabe Akimoto, the winner of the slow bicycle race in the 1972 Olympics, has just completed his lap of honour.
And in the Tokyo Trade Fair, the winning design is British. It's a pocket television set that fits inside a matchbox and weighs only 1 ounce. It's the last word in lightweight miniaturization and runs off only 3 car batteries.
Mr. George Thrakes, the building contractor who was jailed last year for supplying millions of pounds worth of defective building materials to the government, escaped from Wormwood Scrubs today when the front fell off.
And now, from Des O'Connor's latest album, here are a few postage stamps.
Lovely party. Lots of lovely girls.
Dirty little devil.
Pardon?
Is that all you ever think about, sex?
What do you mean? All I said was, lots of lovely girls.
Not what I call lovely. Not really lovely. I've known girls in my time that were really lovely. I don't think this lot's lovely.
Well, no problem. No, perhaps not really lovely. You know, not really lovely, but I mean, they're all right. Not like the champagne. That really is lovely.
Muck.
What?
Barely drinkable. Not if you're used to drinking vintage champagne.
Oh, no, not if you're used to drinking vintage champagne. No, of course. No. I mean, vintage champagne, that is a different kettle of fish.
I'm not talking about fish, I'm talking about champagne.
Oh, yes, I realise that. But be fair, you know, most people would not know the difference.
Yeah, you might not. I certainly would. And as you brought the fish up, I nearly did.
It was salmon.
Tinned.
Oh, that's as maybe. I mean, you realise it's tinned, and I realise it's tinned. I mean, we realise, don't we, that the salmon was not indeed fresh. But most people wouldn't know the difference. I mean, there aren't many people about today who can afford either. I mean, really. I mean, there aren't many rich people about today, are there?
I'm rich.
I could tell, looking at you, that you were, indeed, very rich.
I'm not very rich.
Oh?
I'm terribly rich.
I'm not terribly rich, but I've got a few bob, you know.
Yes, I bet you have, yes, a few bob, yes. I've got millions. Millions of pounds. Still, money isn't everything.
That's what I always say, money isn't everything. I always say that.
Education, that's what counts.
Isn't it strange? It could be me talking. It really could. I always say that education is most important.
Yeah. Where were you eating?
No, not actually, no.
Harrow.
Very near. Wembley.
Wembley isn't a public school.
Oh, it's fairly public. I expect you went to Eton.
Yes. And Harrow.
Oh, you can always tell men of distinction, can't you? You can indeed. That is why you realise that salmon was not fresh, and that the champagne was not vintage, and that all the girls at this party are terribly ordinary.
You're a crawler.
What?
You're a crawler and a troublemaker as well.
Oh.
I hate crawlers and troublemakers.
Oh, now, look here.
And a sex maniac to boot.
Oh, I say, steady on.
People go to the trouble of giving a beautiful party so that little snobs like you can scrounge an evening out.
Why, flogging's too good for you. If you don't like the party, why the hell then you leave it?
But you said...
Get out, get out.
Oh, Sir John, I do hope you don't think I've been neglecting you. I'm your hostess.
Marvellous party.
Oh, thank you. You know, your wife and I have only spoken on the phone, but I feel I know you already.
Wonderful, wonderful party. Beautiful food and marvellous champagne and lovely ladies.
Oh, thank you. My husband will be so pleased.
Yeah.
He really arranged all of this, you know.
Did he?
Yes, where is he, by the way?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, you were just talking to him, you know.
Good evening. Last year, we visited the abode of Dr. William Spooner, the Oxford Don, who, 100 years ago, was confusing all and sundry with his unique habit of transposing the first letters of two adjacent words, hereafter to be known as Spoonerisms. It was he who had proposed a toast to the queer old dean instead of the dear old queen. It was also he who shocked the wife of the new bursar to the college. What he meant to say was that, coming into contact with so many high-spirited young geniuses, she would soon be mad as a hatter, of course. Instead of which he said she would soon be had as a matter of course. And so, in a special reconstruction, we return once again to the peaceful confines of Dr. Spooner's house near Oxford.
Oh, good morning, William.
Good day, Rosie. Good day, Rosie.
You were up early, dear. Where have you been?
Oh, I've been rolling in the strolling in the rose bushes. They love so smelly this morning.
You do adore your garden, don't you?
Oh, indeed I did. Indeed I did. Yes, there's nothing makes me gappier than a spot of hardening. But I fear there's so much to do at this time of year, I'm neglecting it. It's the rutting season for tea roses, you know.
The rutting season for tea cozies?
No, the cutting season for tea roses, dear. I declare you're getting as mad as bee.
Oh, is that what you intend to do today, my dear?
No, the roses must wait. The first thing I must do is to spray my flies against green beans. While I'm at it, I think I'll black my dubras as well.
That reminds me, I need some vegetables for dinner. Would you mind me a farrow?
Me a farrow? What's she got to do with it?
Could you find me a marrow?
Oh, I see. A mere tip of the slung. I see. No, I fear I cannot, because the garden gate was left unlocked all night. Someone has nip-toed in and tipped my barrow in the mud.
Tiptoed in and nipped your marrow in the bud?
I couldn't have betted putter myself. I swear it was that villainous landlord of the Wig and Pistol.
Little Billy Humphreys?
What?
Little Billy Humphreys?
Yes, little Hilly Bumphreys, exactly. He's always been jealous of my prowess in the shower flow.
My name is Rose, dear.
No. The shower flow, the annual shower flow.
Ah, of course.
Yes. Don't you remember last year he tried to sabotage my peas? He covered them in creosote and left the sore little pods to die.
I saw little pods. Oh, the poor little...
Exactly.
William, are you sure it was he? Perhaps it was the bees.
Bees cannot open a garden gate, dear.
Well, how did you know the garden gate was open?
Because I saw next door's dog looing things on the door.
That poodle?
Yes, they're Pood Petal.
Pretty Polly?
Yes, Prilly Potty. The villain, he'll pay for this. I have a good mind to go over there and put dirtilizer on his failures.
Don't upset yourself, sir. I will help you with the gardening as soon as I have time. But at the moment we have other duties. Our students, remember?
Oh, good heavens! Tyke at the loom. Like at the tomb. A toque at the lime is what I'm trying to say. I've hissed a mystery lecture.
And I have a divinity class waiting. Let us hurry, dear William, and not keep them waiting any longer. Dearest, you are my William, the sweetest sweet William that ever grew.
And you are my Rose, the ricest nose I ever picked.
But you are much too passionate to be a partner.
And you're much too titty to be a preacher. Piggy Malone and Charlie Farley, our pair of private eyes who were renowned for making a spectacle of themselves, were on the trail of the sinister drug, which was causing embarrassment to leading public figures all over the world. A clumsy drug. Having traced the gang to Marseille,
our podgy hero and his underweight assistant had come up against a brick wall in the shape of Madame Cocotte, the manager of the Hotel Metropole. And if you've ever come up against a brick wall shaped like Madame Cocotte, you'll know what I mean. But suddenly, Madame Cocotte herself had become clumsy. What strange spell was she under? Was she herself a victim of the dreaded drug? As soon as she had left the room, Charlie Farley was on the scent.
It's a note, Chief. Either she dropped it or it was in the vase.
What's it say?
I must be careful what I write, but the following message may be of interest to you in locating the whereabouts of what you seek.
Well, that must mean where the formula's hidden. Read the message.
A sketch map you have to find. Enough time you must give yourself. Room thoroughly to search every lady's bed. Underwear you will find it. Printed on.
Every lady's bed? You mean it's printed on under the bed, this map, then, is it?
There's more to this note than meets the eye, Chief. It's a puzzle.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't puzzle it out down here. If I were you, you'd get cramp.
Oh, Chief, I think I'm getting it.
There, I told you. Get up, point your toe.
No, I mean the message on the note. Where's the bit of paper? Well, I might be over here.
Hey, listen, I fancy something to eat. I'm going to phone down for something. Do you want anything?
No, I'm all right. Can't think of two things at once.
Okay. Hello? Room service, please? Oh, yes. I fancy a nibble of something. Could you send me up a waitress, please? Room 13, thank you.
Chief, come and look at this.
What? Well, you've just written it out again, that's all. So what?
No, wait a minute. Now read it.
You have to find a sketch map. You must give yourself enough time to search every lady's bedroom thoroughly. You will find it printed on underwear. You'll find it printed on underwear. Oh, you will find it printed on underwear. That's brilliant, that is, Charlie, brilliant.
And so the search was on.
Are you new?
No, very old.
Get on with your work, both of you. Alphonse, has the hotel flag come back from the laundry yet?
The flag, monsieur?
It has its own special box.
Ah, oui, monsieur.
Merci. Our glorious tricolour must not be absent from our flagpole a moment more than necessary. 3 cheers for the blue, white and red, n'est-ce pas?
But still the search went on. And Piggy especially was tireless in his efforts to uncover the truth.
Sure, baby. I work here. Here. In the hotel. Sure. Oh, about 3 months. No, they don't bother me too. That's true. But I get by. Sure. I just play it cool.
Mildred. Used to go around with that ginger guy. His name's Carson. Well, he and I dated a couple of times. No.
Well?
Just a couple of times.
What about her, then?
You know how it is.
I've just checked.
Well, what news?
None whatsoever.
Just ordinary, were they?
No?
Well, what?
I've just told you, none whatsoever.
You mean...
None whatsoever.
I see. No luck there, then.
Depends which way you look at it, doesn't it?
Miss Ginsburg, where is Madame la Manageress? Madame Cocotte, where is she?
I really don't have any idea, sir.
The flag, it has disappeared.
Oh.
There's been a most terrible mix-up. Look out of the window.
Oh, my sainted aunts!
You mean you recognize them? Huh?
No! It's just an expression, Monsieur Philippe.
Something must be done, quickly. The situation cannot be allowed to continue.
Monsieur.
Excuse me, madame, not now. I'm busy. I've other things to do. I must get to the bottom of this. Miss Ginsburg, get those knickers down at once.
There we are. Down it goes. Down it goes.
It's most satisfying, most satisfying. We must remove them from the rope so that we can search inside for a label in order to ascertain whose loins they formerly girded.
There we are.
Yes.
I'm looking... Oh, here's one. Here's one label.
Yes.
And it is saying, Saint something.
Saint something?
Probably some religious personage. Religious personage, like a nun or something.
Nah, these nuns, they don't wear frilly ones. Nuns don't. No, too frilly. Wait, does it say Saint Michael? Saint Michael. Saint Michael was a very famous British saint. Was often to be found inside people's underwear.
I can see it now. It's Saint Christopher, Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's a filthy foreign imitation. Saint Christopher is the saint who watches over people when they're traveling.
But not, I hope, when they're traveling up flagpoles in their underwear.
Ah, no. That would be stretching things a little too far.
Champagne! Ha ha ha! Japanese, too.
Well, my dear, did our friends find what we wanted them to find?
Yes, they have taken my briefs. They are gone. They want a map carefully drawn on them.
A map which they think will lead them to the clumsy drug formula.
But will only lead them to our Vera and their eventual death. A lingering, a loathsome death. They will remember for the rest of their lives.
But which we three know is merely the removal of a couple of stupid obstacles that line our path. A path that leads to world domination.
Ah, Monsieur Greensleeves, you put everything so beautifully.
Once again, our two dull-witted heroes have been tricked. Will they discover they have been incorrectly briefed? Will Piggy embark on another wild goose chase? Or will Charlie persuade him to keep his hands to himself? Find out in next week's episode, Fork Right for Disaster.
Of course, the first thing we've got to get right is the sleeping arrangements. You know what I mean? I mean, we've got two fellas here and one, if you'll forgive the expression, popsy. Right? What do you think we should do about it, like?
Well, don't worry about me, dearie.
Oh.
once my head hits the pillow, I fall asleep like a baby.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it, eh? Oh, yes, that's fine. Excuse me a minute. That'll do. Funny old dude, isn't it, eh? Being shipwrecked on a desert island with a beautiful girl. Funny, isn't it, eh? Cigarette?
No, thanks. I'll stick to my pipe.
Look, I didn't mean to hurt you just now when I walked away. I wouldn't offend you for the word, you know that, don't you?
You know, when I told the producer the joke I'm going to tell you tonight, he got rather excited. In fact, he let go of the barman's hand and he looked me straight in the eye and he tried to speak to me. But whether he likes it or not, I'm going to tell it for sentimental reasons, really, as a tribute to a member of my family. By the way, I must give my kiddies a little wave tonight. They'll be glued to the television about now. I've told them that this program is going to be about industrial chemistry. My wife won't be watching. She'll be at her evening classes. She goes about 4 times a week, you know. She's learning metalwork and plumbing. Very full of herself yesterday. She got a gold star for drain clearance. 2 gold stars, and she gets a night out with the sanitary inspector. She might even claim the title Miss Dynarod of 1975. Now, unfortunately, her metalwork is not so hot. We have now got a corrugated iron sideboard marked "can do better if she tries." Actually, it's all part of the treatment prescribed by our psychiatrist. Now, there is a chap who has got on. 50 guineas a time, 3 couches, no waiting. Good heavens, when I first knew him, you could give him a couple of bob and you had to sit in his lap. Rumour has it that he started out as a Father Christmas in the Co-op. You see, she's got a nice idea. She's got this insomnia. My wife, that is. She's got this insomnia. That's not right. She's got this insomnia. She's got that insomnia. But anyway, well, she's got a bit of insomnia, you know. Well, it doesn't make much difference, does it? She's got this. Anyway, she's got insomnia. Got this insomnia. All that insomnia. She's got it. Can't bloody sleep. Anyway, she's got it. I must be more grammatical, you know. If they start economising round here, it'll be us bad talkers what will go first. So you see, she can't sleep. And the latest idea is the playing card therapy. It's called that, the playing card therapy. She sits up all night, you know, playing five-card brag. Now, the first night, I took a hand just to keep her company, you know. Then I fell asleep, and I got a dig in the ribs at 3 o'clock in the morning, and a voice said, "You're £28 down, but I think your luck is changing." Do you want to settle up? She said, "Oh, carry on." Anyway, back to the joke, which I would like to dedicate to my grandfather, who I'm afraid we have just lost. My wife left him outside Tesco's, and when she came out, he was gone. Now, we gave the police a full description of it, and they decided it wasn't worth looking for. He was very well known in the district for his local voluntary work in ladies' massage parlours. And, of course, for his very, very exciting biography of his fighting in the Boer War, entitled "I Busted a Gut for General Smut." What I'm actually coming to, and you're going to find this very hard to believe in this incredible saga of poor boy who grew up to become poor man, he left this letter. This letter. And this is what it said. It said, "Dear Ron, if anything ever happens to me, could you..." Now, by the way, if anybody thinks that this is a phony excuse to tell an old joke, I must point out that this letter has been examined by the entire studio audience. Hasn't it? Yes! They'll say anything for a glass of stout and a funny hat. "Dear Ron, if anything ever happens to me, could you please tell the old joke about the boxer?" Signed, Grandad. So there we are. So for Grandad's sake, there's this old boxer, you see, who rings up Harry Levine, the promoter, and he says, "Mr. Levine," he says, "what about my next fight?" And Mr. Levine said, "I'm sorry, boy," he said, "you've had too many fights already," he said. "Take my advice," he said. "Hang your gloves up," he said, "and forget it." And the boxer said, "Harry, what are you talking about? I've never been better." Very good, this is. Pathetic characterisation. There we are. He said, "I've never been better," he said. Don't make me laugh, or I can't do it. "Oh, I've never been better," he said. "I've had a 10-year layoff," he said. I'm getting Harry Levine and the boxer mixed up now. He said, "I've had a 10-year layoff." He says, "Done with the world of good." He said, "I want to fight Slasher Delaney. I'm ready for him. I'll take him in the third. Sting like a butterfly, float like a bee. Slasher Delaney will go in too." "Out of the question," says the promoter. He says, "What, do you think I'm over the hill or something?" He said, "Go on," he said. "Tell me, straight from the shoulder, man to man. Give it to me," he said. "Why can't I fight Slasher Delaney?" And Harry Levine says, "You are Slasher Delaney."
From the company that brought you such tremendous double acts as Paul and Flora Robeson, Julie and Eamon Andrews, Enoch and Sandy Powell, Kenneth and Shirley Williams, Roy and Megs Jenkins, Frankie and Trevor Howard. Now comes the greatest and the newest showbiz act that ever hit the small screen, John and Mrs. Mills.
What a lovely war. What do we want with cakes and ham when we got plum and apple jam? Yes, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our own jam roly-poly, the succulent, the never-truculent. Please welcome Mrs. Mills. Oh, you beautiful glad, you great big beautiful glad. I can't get my arms around you, needs an army to surround you. Oh, you beautiful glad, you great big beautiful glad. If I ever lost you, how my heart would break, 'cause you're the jelly that I love to take. Oh, 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 you beautiful glad.
Oh, John. Johnny, how you can love. Oh, Johnny, heavens above. You make old Glad's heart jump with joy. When you're around me, I can't see what you're up to, Johnny. Let's love me a bit. Now you've confused me so. I'm so anxious because I don't know which bit it was. Oh, Johnny, oh.
If you were the only girl in the world,
and you were the only boy,
what a lot of trouble we'd be in today.
I would love to love you,
but there ain't no way.
A Garden of Eden just made for two
leaves no room for me at all.
I would play such wonderful things for you.
I would make your tiniest dreams come true.
If you were the only boy in the world,
and you were the Albert Hall.
Don't let the waiter go home. I'm awake and I want to go to bed. I had a funny feeling about an hour ago, and it wasn't in my head. No matter where I roam, on land or sea or foam, I shall never find a sailor on a night like this. So don't let the waiter go home.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. When you're around, dear, I feel so good. Cool in the summer, warm in the winter, providing shade for the whole neighborhood. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt that you were by my side. The bed collapsed, dear, and so perhaps, dear, it's just as well, dear, that you're not my bride. Still, keep the home fires burning.
I shall sit here yearning in my flannel underwear till the boys come home. But I can't help pining. It's this itchy lining.
Turn the damn things inside out till the boys come home. Oh, drink up, Mrs. Mills, drink up, Mrs. Mills. Under the table you must go, underneath the piano. Gotta keep your strength up, there's gold in them the hills. Drink up, dunk up, give me a bunk up, drink up, Mrs. Mills. Hey! After the show is over, when you come home once more, I'll take a cab to Crockford's.
I've got to scrub this floor.
Back in my rooms in Belgravia, where the champagne will flow.
I'll curl up inside the piano after the show. Now that the show is over, hope you have had some fun. Earrings and golden oldies, favourites everyone. Now is the time to leave you. Now we have got to go. Let's hope the pubs are still open after the show.
Well, that's all for this week. Next week, we shall see Fanny Craddock starring in her new play, Lady Windermere's Flan. And an Indian boil and carbuncle specialist will read from his book, Lives of a Bengal Dancer. A Welsh lady who used to grow grass on her chest will present How Green Was My Valley. And a man who lives next to a sewage works will read from his journal, The House at Pooh Corner.
And we'll also have the famous colour-blind poet, Mr. Reginald Smithers. Here is a quick preview of one of his poems. Roses are green, violets are brown, the sky is bright yellow, and so is the ground.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Agriculture have advice for all of you who are troubled by flies in your kitchen. Put a load of manure in your living room.
News from the courts. Lord Chief Justice Harris today laid down the maximum penalty for bigamy. 2 mothers-in-law.
The latest news, the Prime Minister discussed women's lib again today. If women want equality, they can have it, he said, in a short address outside 10 Downing Street. Mr. Wedgwood Ben agreed with him. He was also wearing a short address with matching handbag.
We've just heard that there's been an accident on the South Circular Road. It seems a milk tanker collided with a lorry load of Rice Krispies. The drivers were not hurt, but 123 people are suffering from shell shock.
In another incident, West Kensington police today questioned a man with a wooden leg who was hopping down the high street while pouring a tin of treacle over his bald head. The man later explained that he was going to a fancy dress ball as a toffee apple.
But that's all we've got time for, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.